Hey guys, this is Balu and today in this video I will be showing you how we can create this kind of CGI advertisements in Blender along with adding some cloud simulations easily. So hope you guys will find the video useful, and without any further delay let's start today's video. So here I'm using this Blender 4.1 version, and also I got this footage downloaded from Pexels. Download link in the description if you want to use the same. And also we need to have an image of the same footage, so I have taken a screenshot of the starting frame of this footage. Along with I got this 3D Nike shoes model from Sketchfab. Download link in the description, and also this HDRA. So you'll find all the links in the description whichever I'm using in this tutorial, so you can download and follow along. So first we need to get the perspective of our footage. So for that we'll be using this FSpy. So FSpy is a free online source. You can download this FSpy. Now let's load the image. So here I will be loading this image onto this FSpy. So basically FSpy is used to get the perspective of the camera. So here we got this number of vanishing points, right? Let it be 2. So here for this second axis I will change this to Z axis. So now we need to match the perspective. So this red is X axis, this blue color is Z axis. So let's match the X axis first. So let's place the point, hold shift key to get a clear view, and let's place this here. So let's place this here. Okay, now again let's select this one, let's place this at this corner, and let's place the vanishing axis here. Now let's place the Z axis. So select this point, let's place this at the corner of this building. So now grab this anchor point, let's change this to XY grid. Okay, so now you can see we got the grid, right? So here this is matching. Let's place the grid here. Okay, after that go to this file options, save. So I will give a random like 1 2 3 4 5, and okay. So now we are done with FSpy. We can close this one. So let me close this. So come to the Blender here. So let's delete everything. So now let's import the data. So go to this file, import. Here we got this FSpy, right? And by the way, if you are not finding this FSpy, means you have not downloaded this add-on. So this add-on is free to download. Just Google as FSpy for Blender, you will get that, or else you can check the link in the description for a video tutorial, or else you can click on this I button above for the tutorial on how to install that one. After that, just click on this FSpy and load the file. So here I have selected this file, right? I have saved the file 1 2 3 4 5. So simply import FSpy project file. Now you can see we got that camera perspective. So now being selected this camera, come to this camera options, expand this background images, and let's increase the opacity. Now let's add a plane here. So go to this add mesh, or else you can press shift A, come to this mesh options and select plane here. Now press S and increase the plane. You can see we got the plane here, right? Now RX90, so that we get our plane here visible. So now let's place the plane here, and if you want to adjust it manually, go to edit mode, press tab key, or else change it from here, and now we can adjust it. So I think let it be here, or else let's grab both the vertices at the same time. Let's drag it here. Now let's select this and let's place this here. Okay, so now we got the plane. So now if I play this, you can see this plane is not following the camera. So now we need to track the camera. So now press N on the keyboard. So here I will be using this geo tracker. So come to this geo tracker and just click on this create new geo tracker. So by default in geometry this plane will be selected, and in camera the data will be selected. So here we need to load the clip. So load the clip once again. So select the footage and load the clip here. So now we need to analyze the footage. So here I have already analyzed this footage, so I'm not getting this analyze option. For you it may be analyze option. Just simply click on this analyze option, and frames I will change this to 300 only. 300 frames is fine, and hit OK and OK. So now here you can see this is getting analyzed. It starts to analyze from starting frame to end frame, and end frame to starting frame to end frame motion. So here the analyzing is done. First let me save the project, Ctrl S. So here I have saved the project. So after that come to this camera options, expand this, and click on this estimated focal length. Now change this to camera, click on this start pin mode. So as soon as you change this to pin mode, we will get some green lines. If you're not finding that green border line, scroll down, come to this appearance option, change this wireframe to 1, disable this back face and lit. Now you can see we got this green, right? This is the plain borders. So now let's analyze it forward. So simply click on this track to end button. Here you can see the plane is following the camera movement now. And again, now let's track this backward. So click on this track to start. So once this tracking is done, just click on this exit pin mode. And now if I play this, you can see the plane will be following the camera movement. So here our tracking is done. So now let's model this inner box. So let's select the plane, press tab key for edit mode, or else you can change it from here. Now select this edge selection tool, select this edge, press E, X and expand in X axis. So now change this to face selection, select this medial face, press E to extrude and press S and reduce the scaling inward like this. And now press E once again and push it backwards here, so that we will get this box created. Okay, so once this is done, now we need to apply some different materials here. Now select the out faces. So select the face, hold shift key, select this face, shift key. Now come to this material properties, add new material. So here I will name this as hold out. Okay, now let's select the inner faces here. So let's select this face, hold shift key, select all these faces here. Okay, and add new material, or else here we need to select these faces also. Let's select these faces. Okay, now click on this plus icon to add a new material and select this new button and assign. So now if I change this, let me move on to this material viewport. Okay, so now if I change this, you can see only this portion is getting affected. Now let's select this hold out. Let's press 0 on the keyboard. Before do that, let's change this to object mode, press 0. Now come to this render view options, come to this world properties. There is no light in the scene, we need to add light. So come to this world properties, click on this yellow dot, change this to environment texture. Here we need to load HDRI. So here I will be using this HDRI. So select it and open image. Now we got light in the scene. So now let's select this material option. Select this holdout, which is this outer portion, right? And change this surface to holdout. Now we will be seeing only this box portion. Now come to this render settings and scroll down to this film option, enable this transparent option. Now this is visible clearly. Okay, looking good. So enable this ambient occlusion and change this to 10 to get that ambience. And here we'll be using this cycles render. So let's change this to cycles render and enable GPU compute. So if you want to add motion blur, you can do that. Okay, so I think these settings are fine. So let's add some cloth simulation here. So let's change this to EV. Let's save the project. Come to this material viewport, solid viewport, and now let's move to cloth simulations. So first of all, let's add some shoe model here. So here I got this model from Sketchfab, so I will import that one. So go to this file, import, it is GLTF file, select this GLTF and select the file. Okay, so here you can see we got the shoe model, right? So first of all, let me place this here. Now let's bring this cursor onto this model. So shift S and select this cursor to selected. You can see we got the cursor, right? Now let's add an empty. So go to this add empty, select this cube, or else you can select whichever empty you like. So now select the shoe model or whichever model you are using, hold shift key, select the empty. Now control P and select this second option. So now we can control the shoe with this empty. So if I select the empty and if I scale this, you can see we can increase the model also, and if I want to rotate, we can rotate the empty. Okay, so now let's do some animation here. So first let's place this inside the box. So now beyond the first frame, select the empty, press I on the keyboard to add the keyframes. So in 4.1 version, if I press I on the keyboard, all the keyframes will be assigned. But in previous version, we used to get an options like to select location, rotation, anything. But now if we press I, keyframes will be added to all the properties. Okay, so now let's move to 80th frame. So till 80 frames, I want this shoe model to be inside this box only. So let's add keyframe once again. So press I. Now you can see all the keyframes were added. So after that, let's bring this model outside this box. So let it be 220 frames, or else let it be 200 frames. We will have this model here. It will be coming out of this box, rotating. It will be rotating for some time there only. So now let's add another plane. So go to this add mesh, select a plane here. We got the plane here, right? So select the plane RX90, press S and increase the scaling. So adjust it accordingly and move this inside a bit. Fine. Now come to the starting frame, press I on the keyboard, add a keyframe. So till 20th frame, it should be closing position only. So press I once again. Now move 40 frames forward and bring it down here like this and press I. So we got this plane animation. So after 80 frames, we will get the model outside. So now let's add cloth simulations here. So again, add a plane. So go to this add mesh, select a plane here. So this is going to be the cloth RX90. Now let's apply the scaling. So make sure it is not touching this model. So let's apply the scaling. So go to this object, apply scale, add subdivision. So press tab key. For edit mode, press A to select all the vertex, right click, subdivide, and come to the subdivision options and change it to 50 cuts. Okay, 50 cuts are fine. Now again press tab key to exit this edit mode. Now let's apply cloth simulation onto this. So being selected this plane, come to this physics property, beyond the first frame, add cloth here. Okay, so now let's hide the plane here, select this plane and let's hide it in viewport. So now if I play this, you can see the cloth is falling down. So here we need to have this cloth staying here. So for that, let's select the plane once again, press tab key for edit mode. Let's change this to vertex selection. So here I will select few vertices here. I will select randomly. So here I have selected these vertices. After that, being selected that vertices, come to this object data properties, come to this vertex group, click on this plus icon here and let's change this to pins and assign. Okay, after that, come to this physics property, scroll down, come to the shape options here, and in pin group we need to select the pins which we have created, and now exit this edit mode. Now if I play this, you can see the cloth will not be falling down. Okay, so now duplicate this plane. So shift D, press X and place it here. So I think this is fine. Now we got the cloth here, and after 80 frames, while this object is coming out, it should interact with the cloth. So for that, we need to add collision property on this shoe. So let's select the shoe model here, select the shoe model. So I have selected the shoe model and add collision property. Now let's save the project once again. So now, so here you can see the object is interacting with the cloth. So it is not looking clearly. So select the cloth, right click, shade smooth, select this one, right click and shade smooth. And for this cloth also we need to enable self collisions. So scroll down and come to this collision options, enable this self collision. For this cloth also enable self collision, And cache, we need to change this to 300 frames because our timeline is of 300 frames. So select this one also and change this to 300 frames. So now you can say the cloth is looking good, but here some of the parts of this model are getting through the cloth. So in order to fix that, so we need to scroll down, increase the steps value. So here come to this quality options. For collisions, increase this to 5, and for this cloth also increase this to 5. Increase the quality steps here. So by default this is set to 5. I will change this to 20. So now let's add some material onto this cloth also. So let's move on to the starting frame here. Come to this material viewport. So now let's add some materials onto this. So we are in material viewport, right? Now select the cloth. Come to this material option, add new material. Let's change this to shading viewport. So here we got the cloth, right? So now being selected this principal BSDF, press Ctrl+T. If you are not enabled node wrangler, go to this edit, preferences, come to this add-ons and look for node. So enable this node wrangler. So once this is done, save the preferences. After that, select this principal BSDF and press Ctrl+T. Ctrl T. So now we need to assign the texture what we have downloaded. So here I got the texture, right? So I will apply this texture here and open. So now you can see we got the material here, but it is inverted. So for that we need to come to this mapping option. Let's rotate this here. So I think 180, rotation X. So now let it be 180. Okay, so now we got it right. Let's adjust the scaling. So I will make this 2. So now we need to copy the same material onto this other cloth. So select this cloth, hold shift key, select this cloth. Now come to this material options, come to this drop down material specials and copy material to selected. Okay, so now we got this, and let's make it some metallic, give it some metallic look and reduce the roughness, or else let's increase the roughness a bit. Yeah, so I think this is fine. Now let's move on to this layout once again. Now come to this cycles render, press 0 to see through camera, and let's select the box here. For this box I will apply some material. So select the material. So here I'm using this blender kit to get the material. So come to this material options, and here I will select metal, and let's see what we will get. So we got these options, right? So from here I think I will select this one. I will select this one. Just click on that, it will be loaded onto this object. Now select the cloth, come to this physics properties, scroll down and click on this bake button. So it starts to bake the simulations. Once the simulation is done, go to the render settings, change this to cycles, use GPU compute and rest, and also here samples. I will use only 32 samples, and noise threshold I will make this as 0.1 and enable this denoise option also. And if you want to add motion blur, you can do that. So I don't add this motion blur. Film option, it should be transparent. If you are using any glass material, we are using glass material right at the starting. I think we have to make some glass material. So enable this one. So we got the material right. Let's add some glass material. So CLJ SS. So it goes down and our product comes out. Okay, so for this I think I will add this glass bricks material. So I think this is okay. So enable this transparent glass also to get better view. So let's save the project once again. So once these settings are done, come to this render settings. So resolution you can set here. By default this is set to full HD, and enable this render region, crop to render region. Frame rate we need to match with the footage. So footage rate is 29.97, so I'll change this to 29.97. Frame start and end 1 to 300 is fine. So here we need to select a folder where to save the output files. So quickly I will select a folder. So here I have selected a folder to save the output files. So file format, let it be PNG only, and make sure this RGBA is selected. So if you have not selected this RGBA, we won't get the alpha channel. So make sure select this RGBA option. So once this is done, go to this render and render animation. So depending upon your system configuration, this may take a lot of time. For me, it will take a lot of time. So for that reason, I will render a single image and I will show how to compose it in After Effects. So go to this render and render image. So here you can say the starting frame is rendered. So I will save this as PNG only. So go to this image, save as, and here PNG is selected, RGB is okay. So I will name this as one frame and save. Now let's move to After Effects here. So here I will be using this After Effects, or else you can use any editing software. So here I got the same footage, right? Now I will import the starting frame here. So right click, import file, select the file and import. Drop it onto this timeline just about our footage. So now here you can see we got this PNG sequence what we have rendered in Blender here. So once this is done, you can do some color correction, match accordingly to your footage, add some cinematic scope, everything. So in this way we can create this kind of CGI advertisement videos in Blender easily. So hope you guys have learned something new from this tutorial. If you have learned anything new, please like, share and subscribe my channel to support me. So I'll meet in the next video. Until then, signing off. Take care. Bye.